Well, it's Friday, and you know what that means. It is time for our Rampage preview. And tonight from the Save Mart Center in Fresno, California, AEW brings another edition of Rampage to you, the adoring public. With Ethan Page against Jungle Boy, Tony Schiavone will interview Eddie Kingston and Ortiz, and you will unquestionably think it is not without question to think that the House of Black will be watching very intently and may get involved in some way, shape, or form, or may make their presence felt in some way, shape, or form, as things don't seem to be done between Eddie Kingston, Ortiz, and the House of Black. Brian Cage takes on Willie Mack, which will be a brawl without question between two large individuals and two of the brawling brawlers. I honestly didn't even know Willie Mack worked for AEW, but I guess he's in on a one-night deal, which is good for Brian Cage because maybe he'll actually win. Jade Cargill and Layla Gray against the Vanity Twins, Jada and Jordan. And also Daniel Garcia against Action Andretti. Which, again, if Daniel Garcia wins, then he is in a tag team match on Dynamite. Which would mean Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia will fight Action Andretti and Ricky Starks. Or if Action Andretti wins against Daniel Garcia, then Daniel Garcia is out, and Sammy Guevara will be the one teaming with Chris Jericho against Action Andretti and Sammy Guevara. Action Andretti and Ricky Starks. I apologize. So that adds an interesting stipulation into the match tonight with Daniel Garcia and Action Andretti. But if I had to pick a match that would likely main event tonight's Rampage, it will likely be Jungle Boy and Ethan Page, if I had to guess. But as we look forward to the first pay-per-view of AEW's calendar year, Revolution, and the cards start to fall in place, you have to figure that something with Action Andretti and the JAS will take place at Revolution in March. Or would it be Action Andretti and Jericho, or will Ricky Starks still be doing something with the JAS at that point? See, this is where it would have benefited AEW to have maybe Sammy Guevara or Daniel Garcia in title contention, unless maybe if Action Andretti does defeat Daniel Garcia tonight, does that then put Action does that then put Action Andretti in contention for Wheeler Yuta's Ring of Honor Pure Championship? Listen to the logic. The logic is that Daniel Garcia has had past title opportunities against the Pure Champion. So Action Andretti fighting a former Pure Champion, maybe that puts him in contention to fight Wheeler Yuta down the road. That would be an interesting turn of events for the surprise of 2022, that being Action Andretti. But it would be, you would have to figure that a feud with the JAS then moves both Ricky Starks, or could move both Ricky Starks and Action Andretti into title contention of some form. Singles title contention, because after having Ricky Starks leave or part ways with Powerhouse Hobbs last year, I doubt you have Ricky Starks join another tag team this year. But that's just my opinion. But as I always say, if you're looking for wrestling tonight, there is more than enough wrestling to occupy your palate with SmackDown taking place on Fox tonight at 8, and then right after SmackDown, you have AEW Rampage on TNT at 10. I am happy that House of Black has returned and immediately has jump-started a feud with not just somebody new, but Eddie Kingston. Because also, if you go the route of having singles matches, then that could be where Eddie gets the victories and you could balance out the feud where the House of Black wins as a duo or a trio, but maybe loses once or twice in singles competition, because both Eddie and the House of Black need to be looked at as strong in this feud. One can't be looked at as stronger because both men or both groups have been struggling to find their footing. Eddie specifically since his feud with Chris Jericho ended, and the House of Black just since they joined the company, because they really have not had the luxury of gaining and keeping momentum, much like Brian Cage. So this is very much an interesting episode of Rampage, with a lot of talent that need momentum in 2023. And again, as I've said multiple times in the past, if AEW wants to allow Rampage to be that show that gives people that need to gain momentum the opportunity to be featured on actual programming, then so be it. That's a perfect identity for Rampage to have. And I also just want to mention that it is rare to see Jade Cargill not competing in a singles match, but it is a nice change of pace for Jade Cargill to compete with one of her baddies, one of her stablemates, as you would say, in a tag team match on tonight's episode of Rampage. It is, either way, going to be a very action-packed edition of Rampage tonight on TNT, because this is the first time that I can remember in a very long time that there is an episode of Rampage without a championship title defense, which is an interesting turn of events, because again, it may give Rampage the opportunity to be the identity, to give them an identity, to have talent like Brian Cage, Ethan Page, Jungle Boy, Action Andretti, and Daniel Garcia, give people like them that lack momentum and direction the opportunity to be featured on national TV. Either way, don't forget, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, TNT tonight. It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's AEW Rampage. Until next time, I'm done for the day, and I will see you in the next video.